Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is episode 5 of the SANE Show, the show about nothing and everything. I got a special guest here. The wind blew in and brought me an old friend, Reminisce X, entertainer, does a little bit of hip hop, acting, done some modeling. I know big into cosplay. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I'm glad to be here down in Charlotte. Hey. This is so surreal, man.
Yeah. I gotta say, you guys did really good, surprising me. You saw I had to run the opposite direction. I couldn't believe my eyes. All these people I haven't seen in about 3-4 years, and I'm seeing you all 3-4 years later in the same place. It was overwhelming. It was, like always, a lot of love.
Yeah, and then the last time we didn't see each other like for 7 years, I think. It's been like 10 years since I moved.
Well, we're getting better now.
Yeah.
7, 3. Okay, I should see you again.
Like next month.
Yeah, so we're going to get to it. We're going to be talking about, the over-sexualization of women in music, talk about sneak politics as well. And then, just go ahead and ask Reminisce X a few questions, just to fill her out a little bit. So let's go ahead and get to it, the over-sexualization of women. I know we kind of talked about this last night. I wanted to save it all for today. I didn't want to get deep into it, but you had some really good thoughts about it. So, just go ahead and I'll let you take the lead on this.
Okay. So I only have 2 songs out right now, Sweet and Hobnobbin'. And in both of those songs, I guess it's expected that I'm supposed to be talking about my coochie. Just straight up. You talk about pussy, you talk about you use the word bitch a lot, I see like a lot of female MCs, and it's not even like a big deal to me, that other women do it, but I just feel like the market is completely saturated with talking about your pussy and talking about calling other people bitch. It's too much. It's overused, to be honest. To be honest, if it was underused, I'd probably be into it, Yeah. But even then, you have to, okay, so I just saw this thing on Little Kim. It was like a little story about her life. I think it was like a behind the music thing for MTV. And it's when she started hanging out with Biggie, right? Biggie basically told her, you need to become more sexy. You need to get out there and you need to talk nasty to these fellas. You need to do this, you need to do that. And because she had so much respect for Biggie and she loved Biggie to death, she was gonna do anything for him, hands down. On the loyalty side, that's awesome, but at the end of the day, you can lose yourself doing that. If me, I'm not an overly sexual person. I believe that, having a fluid sexuality is awesome. I think that basically if you feel sexy and you want to look sexy, you should. You know what I mean? I'm not going to act like my music is all pure and holy or it's all rough and tough or anything like that, or if it's made for children or if it's made for adults.
Right.
My music is just what I personally like to make. But if somebody said, you're not talking about your pussy enough, I'm going to be like, I think you need to be listening to a different song.
So,
If
I ask you, any female hip-hop artists out there now, if there are any, in your opinion, who would be the best example or the shining example of what you believe to be going against the grain as far as the over-sexualization of women in music?
Yes. Man, my favorite female MC right now is No Name Gypsy, hands down. Yes, I love No Name to death. Just saw her in concert at the Pitchfork Festival in Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah, around my birthday. Oh my goodness. I was spitting her verse so hard, she stopped and just looked at me and was like just vibing with me, because she was like, you trying to get up here and grab the mic? And then they actually took a picture of me and put me in the Tribune.
I remember they took a picture of you. And
they put me in the Chicago Tribune because I was going so hard for No Name. I really like her. And you know what? She'll use the word bitch or pussy or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's not even about the words. It's about like what she's talking about, how she's talking about it. Some people don't like her because she's really monotone, but I love her sound because at the end of the day, like, though you're monotone, you say so much.
So you would say her music is almost like an acquired taste.
It is. It's definitely an acquired taste. I mean, everybody's not going to love her. You know, everybody's not going to even get her, really. Because like a lot of her verses are like real spoken word like, you know? I think she's probably the coldest in the industry right now. For me, personally. I mean, I like, what's her name? Queen Nati, I believe her name is.
Who is she with?
I've heard a few of her songs.
Okay.
And yeah, she's pretty cool too. Honestly, there's an entire sector of women who are going against the grain right now. But right now, it's Cardi B and Nicki Minaj are at the top of the food chain. Why? Because they're willing to do what we're not.
So I would go to guess or say that a lot of these women that are going against the grain are more so underground, independent artists.
Certainly.
Doing their...
Absolutely.
So a lot like Chance the Rapper.
Yes.
When their time comes...
Yeah. When their time comes, you know, we'll see it. But at the end of the day, personally, I don't care about being mainstream. So with my music, I'm trying to take the J. Cole route. And this is what I call it, the J. Cole route, because when J. Cole first started, you know, he was rapping about what everybody wanted to hear, you know? So he could build a fan base. People were like, oh, man, he could really spit. Oh, man, he really said that. He said this. Work out for me. You know what I mean? And then he slowly moved on to, like, getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
You know, it's so funny. Here's what I'll say about that, though, because it's the same thing with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
I always tell people, it's like if Kendrick he could do whatever he wants to do, right? But I like to say that it's like, I got your attention now. You know I'm one of the baddest in the game now.
That's exactly it. Yes.
Now I can really do what I want to do, say what I want to say, get my message out. And we got To Pimp a Butterfly. We got Damn. Black Panther soundtrack, all that knowledge he's been dropping, and you know, he started that movement during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement. The We Gonna Be All Right, that was like one of the themes, you know, anthems or whatever.
Exactly.
Totally
and that's kind of the route that I'm taking, because honestly, so Sweet is about sugar daddies, and Hobnobbing is pretty much just a little quick little twerk song or something. You know, these are songs, honestly, when I recorded Hobnobbing, I was just joking around. Then I put it online and people were like, whoa, Nia, I didn't know you could do that. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks.
We're going to save that. I want to save that.
I'm not going to go too deep into that. But I say that to say that you record, you know, what you think is not all that music or whatever. And you know, you get people listening, you get an ear for it. So now they're waiting for the next song to drop, and they're like, ooh, now I'm an actual fan of Reminisce X. That's cool. So I'm going to keep listening to her. At the end of the day, like with KOD, like whether you liked KOD, the album, or not, you're a J. Cole fan regardless. So you're going to listen to it. You know, so you're going to hear the message, even if you just hear it once. Even if you listen to like the first couple lines of the first song, you know, you're still hearing it. And that's the whole point. If you can get people to hear your stuff, you know, you've already, you know, made it to where you need to be. And that's the point that I'm trying to get at. I just want you to hear me, you know. So right now my stuff might be on the surface, but it's definitely going to get deeper as I go. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get to the trending topic, brought to you by What's Trending. Go follow them on Twitter, like I tell you to do all the time. This one I thought was rather interesting and a bit funny. Fox News is boycotting Twitter. Yes, Fox News, of all the media outlet, is boycotting Twitter. Reason why one of their, not trying to get too deep into it, but basically one of their anchors' home address in DC was put out over Twitter. Fox News complained about it, said Twitter was too slow to respond. People are protesting outside this anchor's home. Twitter basically came back I would almost call this a clapback. Well, get in line and file a report like everybody else does on Twitter, and we'll get to it. And
like,
eventually,
you ain't nothing special.
Right. Eventually, they got to it, and they removed the person's account, suspended their account. So, honestly, it's it's not right to put somebody's address out there.
Yeah, violation of privacy, definitely.
Right. Because people are crazy.
Yeah.
And who knows what somebody would try and do.
Yeah.
But the fact, and again, I understand Fox News boycotting. They have every right to do so.
Right.
The fact that they're trying to come in as if they have special privileges or whatever, and Twitter comes in and says, file a report. I'm all right with that. I mean, they eventually got to the person's account and removed it.
Yeah.
But, what's your thoughts?
We boycotted a whole bus system back in the day. Let me not get too deep into that.
Right.
But honestly, it's two sides to it. Okay, so it is messed up. Honestly, if anybody's address gets put out in public and, it's a danger to them or someone else, at the end of the day, immediate action definitely needs to happen, regardless of who they are, where they came from, whatever.
Right.
But also thinking that you deserve special treatment.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure people's addresses are getting put out on Twitter all the time.
Right. You know what I mean?
Like, yo, we about to go beat up Bobby real quick. Yo, what's his address? Somebody put it out. You know what I mean?
They thought that they had more pull than they had.
Right.
And then they got, kind of slapped in the face with the, you ain't nothing.
Right.
You ain't nothing special.
Just like everybody else.
Right.
So, and honestly, boycotting Twitter, not sending out any tweets,
But, what is that making the difference of? I'm going to be real with you. I was the 40th person to ever get a Twitter. Yeah. When Twitter first hit the scene, I was the 40th person because they were doing, a little number count. Mm-hmm. At this point, there's so many people on Twitter.
Yeah.
If Fox News really thinks they're making a dent.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they probably need Twitter more than Twitter needs them. Seriously? Twitter is probably one of the fastest ways to get out any information.
And you notice how it's someone in the media checking on another media outlet. Hey, y'all good? You good?
Right.
You still believe in that stuff? You ain't tweeted in a while. What's going on?
Right.
So, yeah, because
that's hilarious.
Let it be somebody that's always active on Twitter, like Ellen or something. We all gonna be concerned, and we all gonna be trying to what's going on. You ain't been on Twitter in a while. What's up, man?
Right,
we worried about you. Fox News is like, oh, we stopped tweeting. Okay.
Right, exactly. Seriously, what has Fox News done for us? Right.
Okay.
Okay.
You stopped tweeting. All right, cool.
What do you want?
You did us a favor.
What does that mean?
Nah, keep them out of Twitter.
How about somebody posts Donald Trump so he can stop tweeting too, okay? Because we ain't got time for this.
Oh, man. Yeah, for real. I'm pretty sure people be more concerned with him not tweeting.
Right.
We still got a president?
He's still there?
Yeah. So.
I ain't never seen a president tweet so much in my entire life.
Oh, man.
Could you imagine George Washington getting on Twitter?
Oh, gosh, man.
Yo, I chopped down that tree again.
Obama opened the doors for social media, or helped open, really expand it as far as put the politicians on social media. He was doing it
on some fun
but here's
stuff.
Here's the thing. You got people like Donald Trump. They get on there and they go rampant. It's like, okay, see,
you're not using Twitter right.
We was cool with people like Obama, Biden, Bernie Sanders, and maybe even a few Republicans on Twitter. But man, you just took it to a whole nother level. Bruh, we don't even.
Because you wildin', son.
Yeah, exactly.
For real.
But that was good. That was good. That was, again, brought to you by What's Trending. Go follow them on Twitter at What's Trending. It's a lot of good stuff on there. I'm always pulling my trending topics from there. And, since we're talking about Fox News and politics, it's a perfect transition into our next topic, something you seem to be deeply passionate about when we were talking about last night, sneak politics. I'm going to let you take and run with this, but just the kind of the idea of people taking advantage of the black vote and more so the minority vote. Right. So, just give the listeners a little bit of insight as far as your experience and, how this came about. And
So what obviously is being noticed is that, you know, millennials nowadays, we're not interested in voting based off the fact that we don't really believe that they, you know, our vote counts. Now, black millennials especially don't think that our vote counts, like hands down, you know, because we've seen the system. We've honestly, when I learned about the Electoral College, I was like, oh, so you're telling me that my vote is a suggestion. So what?
Right.
You know? So it's honestly already a hard and fickle system in the first place to understand. But now what I've recently been involved with, without, you know, going into too deep of detail, I was working on basically a black voting campaign, trying to get out the black vote.
And this is the most recent election?
Yes,
okay.
November 6th. I was basically running 15 set group of canvassers. I'd send them out into different black neighborhoods with tablets, and I'd, you know, have them ask these questions. You know, this is automatic stuff. I'm just the organizer of it. I don't know anything about the background, how the turf is going and all that. I'm just the one who, like, gives them a turf and sends them out and, you know, calculates the data at the end of the night or something.
Right.
So the tablet, the three questions that were originally asked, are you planning on voting on November 6th? Right? The second one is, if I send you a pledge to vote card, will you sign it and put it back in the mail? And then the last one is, can my organization contact you? Simple as that, you know? And honestly, the way that we were going out, we had like these T-shirts that said black such and such on it, you know? And it seemed like, you know, we were out here actually trying to just help the black community understand their voting rights, you know, how they can vote, where they can go to vote, all that type of stuff, just making sure that they have enough information, right? And it seemed like that. And honestly, I wasn't against it. I would have been against it if, like, we were, you know, kind of going for somebody in particular or something. But honestly, I don't even know if I would have been against it so much as I would have just maybe had to think about it. I was just like, okay, helping the black community understand their voting rights is actually really important because, you know, I know we didn't fight for nothing.
Right.
You know, so if you don't want to vote, that was one of the major things that I would tell my canvassers, though. If they said no, you walk away from their house.
Right.
Don't go trying to, you know, push it on them or anything like that,
right.
because at the end of the day, it's their choice. So you're asking them a question. You're not telling them what they need to do.
Right.
You know? Anyway, so we're nearing towards the end of the campaign, you know, last week. So maybe around the 2nd. The things change, and it actually has like one of the candidates on there, and it says, can we count on blah blah blah, your vote for blah blah blah, you know? And I'm like, wait, what? You know? And like, now I'm shook personally, and like my canvassers are now asking me questions like, I didn't know we were campaigning for this guy. And I'm like, I didn't know we were campaigning for him either. You know? And it was like, are you trying to buy the black vote? And they were paying me, you know, a healthy amount of money, you know? They were also paying the canvassers pretty well, you know? And I know that was a temporary job, so that's why I assumed that's why they were paying us so much. But, you know, I was just like, I feel like this is low-key hush money.
Right.
I don't know, you know? So I just, honestly, I didn't like that, you know? And I brought it up to somebody, and they were like, well, who else were you going to vote for? I was like, what? And this is a Democrat, by the way. And I was like, wait, what do you mean, who else am I going to vote for? Like, this is my only choice. This is my only hope. This is the only person I got. You know, he's doing sneaky stuff. Can't you already see that that's wrong? They're like, well, the other candidates are garbage too. And I'm like, oh, okay. So rather than getting a flaming sack of shit, I'll just get a sack of shit. Like, I don't know what you're telling me. Like, what am I going to do with this guy? You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was just really messed up, you know? And honestly, I don't like that. That's like backdoor politics or something. And now it makes me feel like, you know, any politician has to be dirty in order to, you know, get their way in some way, shape, or form. You know, even Obama probably had to get down and dirty at one point or another. Don't get me started on my opinions on Obama. He's a great dude. But yeah, let's not get too deep into that.
So basically what it sounds like was a campaign to get people out to vote.
Right.
But then it turned into a campaign to get people
out to vote for this particular Democrat.
Right. And I will say, because like I don't know if you saw on the highways here, like November vote.
I've
November,
seen it still. Yeah,
that kind of stuff I'm for because honestly, more importantly, as much as I want the person that I voted for to win, what's more important to me is at least getting the people out who need the vote, make their voice heard, and then we just take it from there. Because you got to get them out first, you got to get them active, and then once you get them active,
then they'll start looking deeper into it and figuring out exactly.
Because I know as much as I wanted people to vote for candidate A, B, or C, I wanted to make it a thing of just get out and vote. Just vote. Like it just made me feel so good when I was looking at my Instagram.
Everybody had the stickers
Facebook,
and
Twitter and it made voting seem like a cool activity. Like it's cool to vote.
It's cool. Wow, everybody's doing it.
It's great to exercise your citizenship. Like that is a privilege. And so it's truly important, and it sucks that you have people out there who try to take advantage of these people that need to vote, don't know what they're looking into, what information they need to look for, and what traps are out there. And then and try to do them like sheep and just say, hey, just follow me and I'll take you to the promised land. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. So that's wild.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I had, honestly, when I first started, because I first started as a canvasser. When I first started, I thought that we were just like getting statistics on people who are actually supposed to be going out to vote, so that when people say, well, my vote doesn't count in the black community, we could say, well, only this many people voted, so if you go vote, then maybe it'll change something, or if things remain the same, then we actually have a valid argument. You know what I mean? If like things are the exact same because you didn't vote, well, then you don't really have much of an argument, do you? But then if you do go vote and everybody voted, then we actually can have something that we stand for. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm kind of wishy-washy with both.
I can understand that because, I mean, we got some good results out of the recent election. But a part of me was still disheartened because it's
not really from where I'm from, but
Because if you look at places like Florida. Was so close. And I know that there were people
That's not the first time.
that could have voted that didn't vote. And then at the same time, it made me think about the people that were disenfranchised, like the people in the prison system that were in the prison system and are now free and whatever. So, and honestly, like a part of me was like, dang, man, like we sent Barack down there and y'all still ain't I'm thinking like, yo, if Barack came to North Carolina, you best believe we go, at least I would hope, we're gonna get out and show out. You know what I mean? It's like, or whoever is down there campaigning. You get out and show out. Because I'm sure those people that Trump supported, when he came down there, it's like, okay, we gotta. Because it's like when you got somebody that important coming out there to rally you up to vote, it's like a signal, like, yo, do this. Like it's a big deal. If both the current and former commander-in-chief are there. So
I mean, that's happened in Indiana. Honestly, I'm gonna be real, I definitely did not vote in the last election with Trump against Hillary. You know why? Because I live in Indiana. Mike Pence was the governor of Indiana. That vote was sealed. Come on.
I'm gonna let you live on this one.
It's been a red state since the day
I'm gonna let you live on this one.
It became a state, hands down. You got to let me live, because at the end of the day, I knew for a fact that was going to be a waste of time going out in that cold just for them to hit me with.
But even if the odds are against you.
It was just hard to convince me, because I was also like a heavy activist at the time. So I was Black Power.
Understood.
I was on 10. I was like, no. First of all, should we vote for Satan or the devil? So at the end of the day, like, seriously, was that even?
You know, it was funny. I got in that booth. I still remember this, and it was literally, you know, people talk about the lesser of two evils. It literally felt like that when I got in that voting booth. I'm like, oh gosh. Like,
and queen of sneak politics, Hillary Clinton. Yeah, come on, man.
While I was voting for all the other candidates, you know, I was like, okay, boom. It was easy. Yeah. And it was black and white. Mm-hmm. Either you supported this person, that person, and you had a clear idea as to why, and you could make great sense of it. Mm-hmm. But when it got down to the president of the United States, I was like, oh, man. Yo, like...
Y'all got me in between a rock and a hard place, okay?
For real. Part of me wanted to just say, you know what, I'm just going to stop right here and let the rest of the country decide.
Let me just close my eyes and spin my finger.
Yeah, it was like playing Russian roulette.
I promise you, like, either way. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, but that was that, man. Yeah. But I wanted to go ahead and get to ask you some questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, you're an actor.
Yeah.
You just got into music. So why music?
Okay, so let me just break it down like this. So while I was still living here in Charlotte, I was about 13 years old. Let me tell you what my dreams were when I was a little girl. Okay. I wanted to be a singer, dancer, and rapper. Hands down. Mm-hmm. That was the idea. Actually, I moved here when I was 10, and like I told my daddy, I was like, yo, I want to be a singer, dancer, and rapper. And he was like, well, you got to learn to sing. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure you could pick up dance. And he said, you got to just start writing your own lyrics, you know? like my dad's never been like the type of guy to be like, no, don't worry about any of that. You need to go be a doctor, or you need to do this, you need to do that. My dad's like, if you got to be a struggling artist, you better be the best struggling artist there is, so then nobody ever can tell you that, you know, someone is better than you, period. You know, find your own lane, make your own lane, make your own way. Mm-hmm. I definitely did want to go into rapping, but he was like, yo, you need to be able to write your own stuff. And I'm like, Dad, I can't write my own stuff. Besides, I'm cute, so people are going to just write for me. Besides, I'm a little kid, and that's a gimmick right now. Lil Romeo's out. You know what I mean? Right. Like, it's a thing, you know? And he's like, no, you got to write your own stuff. So I could not figure out how to write. But I still loved music. Mm-hmm. Like, at 12 years old, I used to go to Imaginon, and I'd just be on the computer all day looking up old school hip hop. Mm-hmm. And I'd be studying KRS-One, Das Effect, Slick Rick, Moni in the Middle, Queen Latifah, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, like everybody. I was on it like every day. I was listening to these people back to back. And my dad was like, oh, that's cool. You know, other people were looking at me like, yo, why is this little girl listening to hardcore hip hop? Like, like I was listening to NWA. I didn't care. Like, I just always like loved to study a flow and stuff. I thought that was so fascinating to me. So I ended up getting a part of the With These Hands Mix Academy. Mm-hmm. I believe they're still, you know, working out here, and that's pretty dope. But yeah, I got with them when I was 13. They taught me how to spin on vinyl. Probably the best musical experience I've ever had in my life. And I figured, okay, well, I'll just be a DJ if I can't be a rapper. Mm-hmm. So I just, you know, did a little bit of DJing. And then when I moved to Indiana, a lot of stuff went on pause due to the death of my grandmother. So I don't know, recently, I want to say probably exactly a year ago, I got approached from a ghostwriter to ghostwrite for me. And I was like, oh, man, my dream is about to be realized. Awesome. You know? And I was like, yeah.
So are you still doing that now?
So he told me, I want you to start writing some stuff. Yeah. So that, you know, maybe you can like get a feel for what you want to sound like. And I'm like, oh crap.
Sorry, this is the tabloid in me coming out. But does he ghostwrite for anybody in particular that we might know of? I can edit it out.
I can't say too much. But he does ghostwrite for some big names.
All right, well,
in the industry.
When we're done and we're not recording and I'm not on Instagram Live, I'll ask you that one.
I'm not allowed to say too much. But yeah.
It's not Kendrick, is it?
No.
Okay,
it's
great.
not Kendrick.
Great.
No. No. Not after that spat with Drake, no. Sharing bars like you.
That would break my heart if I found out Kendrick had a ghostwriter.
No, he doesn't. But yeah, it's some pretty big industry names. But yeah, actually, I know a good handful of ghostwriters that write for some big industry names.
So it's almost like a natural progression.
Yeah.
A lot of times I look at people people they get in the music industry.
Yeah.
Some of them start by they may have sung in the choir at school or at church. Some people play instruments or been DJs.
Yeah.
A lot of times DJs become producers, vice versa. Right. But,
which I was dabbling in beat making and studio production.
So it seems like you went from DJ to artist, which is
well, the thing is, I always wanted to be at the forefront.
Yeah.
But I was about to settle for being in the background because I was like, well, I guess I can settle for my music speaking for it. So, or like just, people vibing to my sound.
Yeah.
Whatever I decide to play. Like, oh my God, it used to make my heart smile anytime like I'd be playing a song and everybody would be like, yeah, and I'm like, yes, I did it.
That's good. It's gotta be a good feeling.
Yeah, like it's a good feeling. But yeah, so he was telling me, you need to write a little bit. So I was writing some stuff, and then I'd send it to him, and he'd be like, yeah, that was garbage. I'm like, thank you. No, for real, thank you. I cannot thank him enough for doing that.
You need somebody in your corner that can tell you stuff like that. I
swear.
It's like my cousin asked me before I send him something.
Yeah.
He'll ask me like, is it dope?
Yeah.
If it's not, don't bother sending it my way.
Don't bother send it.
And so I have to take almost have to scrutinize what people send to me before I send it to him.
Right.
Because he's working with big name producers like Esther Dean and putting out work for some of the major artists in the business. So for me, even though I'm family, I can shoot him over anything and send him.
Yeah, but you don't want to saturate him with just mediocre stuff. You want to actually send him some good stuff, which is awesome, right? Yeah. Exactly. And you know what? That's what he was on. He was like, yo, if I'm going to be ghostwriting for you, I can't necessarily ghostwrite for you all the time. So I need us to be able to work together on this writing tip, And I was like, yo, that's genius. I love it.
Well, that's good because for you, it allows you to work on your craft from somebody who's like a master at it.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely really good. And so that was the thing, right? So I'm working on this day in and day out. I promise you, I'm going just a million miles a minute trying to write some stuff, and none of it is hidden. Not for him, not for me. He was like, yo, this is kind of cool. Maybe you should just keep it, just hold on to it, So I'd be holding on to phrases and stuff like that. I was supposed to, link up with him. Like I said, he was working with some big names, so obviously you go where the money's at, bro. I'm not even mad at you because I'm out here cleaning toilets for $10 an hour, so I really ain't got all the cheese to pay you, Right. So the fact that you're even willing to work with me is appreciated.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't breathe down his neck or nothing.
Yeah.
But he just didn't quite have all the time for me.
Yeah.
So I'm continuously writing. I kind of fall off of it a little bit until one day I go into one of my friend's studios and we're just listening to music or whatever. And then I'm like, yo, I got this hook if you want to rap over it. And he was like, okay, show it to me. I showed him the type beat on YouTube. And I was just like, lollipops and gummy bears are my favorite treat. And I'm being good. I asked my daddy for a sweet. And he was like, yo, that's actually kind of cool. I was like, yeah.
Yo.
He was like, yo, you should do a verse on it. I was like, man, I can't write. He was like, yo, you just wrote that hook. That's pretty good. I was like, okay. And, he had the studio. So he was like, yo, we could record this right now. Let's try it. I was like, okay, cool. So, I just freestyled. Gee, Mom, this guy sure is swell. He doesn't run around, he doesn't kiss and tell.
Yeah.
He keeps the 9 on him in case shit gets real. He told me I'm his rider, so I'll never squeal. And he was like, yo, that's pretty dope. So I'm thinking maybe I have to do that in my voice the entire way.
Yeah.
And then I just switched it up, and I was just like, where is all of this coming from? You know? So I ended up finishing the song, and I was so proud of myself. So proud. So I was like at my best friend's house, and I was like, ooh, girl, we gonna be hobnobbing with the rich and the famous. And then I was like, ooh, that's another song. And then I literally wrote hobnobbing like within the hour. And then I went like a week later, recorded it.
You know, this...
Dropped it, and it popped. I was amazed.
This is the kind of stuff I love talking to people like you about.
Yeah.
You know, talking to go-getters whenever they are going after whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. And these are the kind of stories I love to hear, because it's
how
always
easy and how possible it is.
Right.
You know?
And at the same time, it's like, it's unexpected.
Yeah.
It's like you said, like, well, where did all this come from?
Right.
You know, it's the same thing as like with me having this podcast, like me being a successful sales professional.
Yeah.
And also being able to, you know, book concerts and be able to do good with public speaking. I've done radio before this. Honestly, I was running away from my gift, but it's like I have a great voice. I was like, and I love to talk and tell stories. So like, why not? So it's just, so just like you, it's like, it's funny how some of this stuff comes about, and when you do it, it's like, yo, this is solid.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like exactly that. Exactly that. It's like you're running away from your gift, and you're just because you kind of don't know what direction you're supposed to be going in until like you actually hit your niche. Because that's the thing, like I'm recording with like different people, and I'm like talking to different artists that I believe are like impeccable, and they're looking at me like, yo, you're cold-blooded too, and I'm like, what? Get out of here. I've only been doing this for like a couple months. They're like, a couple of months? I was like, yeah, seriously.
I gotta say, I am really happy for you. I'm excited for what lies ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, just keep doing it.
For sure, for sure.
I don't know what it's something different about how you're doing it.
Yeah.
But just keep doing it, and it's all going to come together.
Fall into place, definitely.
It's exciting. It's going to be a fun ride.
I'm geeked.
I mean, just let me know, and I might be able to find you a gig or two.
Yeah, for sure. Come on now, Cliff. Come on.
Yeah. But gosh, I'm so excited. You know, I was thinking too. I'm like, when would I be able to have her down here? Either I'm gonna have to go up there, or I'm gonna have to wait for the next.
That was so funny because I knew I was coming when I had sent you that message asking you like how things are going and stuff.
Did you know you were gonna be? You knew.
Yeah, I knew I was
coming. You knew you were gonna be on here before I even asked you to be on.
Yeah,
I
was like,
you gotta make this happen.
I was like, ooh, should I tell him I'm coming? Nah, let me wait a minute. Let me just see what he got going on. See if he's in town.
I'm glad you didn't, because I probably would have canceled a recording just to do a recording with you. Like, hey, bro, we're going to have to reschedule. I got somebody that I might not get for a while. So,
right.
So man. I'm ecstatic that you...
Dude, I appreciate you putting me on the show, dog. This episode's about to go down in history. I guarantee it.
Same show. And I think the great thing is, too, you know, because I got a lot of up-and-coming people on here, and my plan is like, hey, we all in that place.
Right,
like, hey,
exactly. Go ahead, bring it back.
What makes it even more beautiful is that a lot of these people went to school with them, or, you know, we done some kind of work together.
Yeah.
So I just think of it's like, because I always look at it, it's like, it's so cool when, you know, you look at all these famous people, but then you see how, like, you start connecting the dots, and like, dang, man, they was rolling with each other, like
exactly.
My boy Royale. He is a Hollywood producer. He's one of the writers for Def Comedy Jam. Works with like Mike Epps, DL, Chris Tucker, Seinfeld, all these big name comedians, Kevin Hart.
Wow.
And I saw him yesterday on Instagram. You know, he was like, my A1 since day one, you know, with DL Hughley. And I was like, man, that's just so dope. Like, that's like 20 years plus that they've been
friendship.
Running. And
it's like Jada and Pac.
Yeah. Yep. So it's just always so cool to see these people from where they started, where they are, still good friends. And, you know, see, like, but it makes sense when you look at them, because, like, that speaks a lot to when you keep dope people in your circle, and you keep that kind of energy around you.
Swear.
There's no reason that you shouldn't make it when they make it. You know what I mean? So, Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm like
exactly.
I said, I'm excited for you.
Right.
Like I'm waiting for that day.
Trust me, Cliff. If I make it before you do, I'm dragging you up by your collar, dog. Don't even worry about it.
No, it's like I always think about it. Like they do those little fun facts about artists. Like, oh, so and so went to school together. Like,
right.
Like, what? Yeah,
right.
Yeah, for real. So, yeah. So, but I appreciate you coming by again.
Yeah, for sure.
Always great talking to you. Go ahead and drop your Instagram, all the other kind of stuff.
All right. So Facebook, you can look me up, reminisce.x. Instagram is reminisce.xo. Check me out on SoundCloud, reminisce.x.
Word.
Yeah, I only have a few songs on there right now, but don't worry, it's building.
You got content. Just keep adding and building.
Yeah.
So y'all heard her. Go follow her. Reminisce.x on Facebook.
Yes.
Reminisce X on
XO.
Reminisce XO on Instagram.
Yes.
And then if you haven't done so already, go ahead, follow the SANE Show at SANE SANE_show. The SANE Show on Instagram. Check us out on SoundCloud. We got episodes 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Now up. Go listen. Click, like, share, subscribe, follow. And with that being said, thanks for listening. We're out.